Hello my lovely friends, my name is Rue. How do you do? Welcome back to my channel. I feel like rambling today, so we're gonna ramble, and I'm tapping on a horse planner. I think, well, I want to talk about autism stuff, so I guess this is going to be a rather informal autism chat, and I don't even know what the topic is going to be, because I feel like it's just going to be a lot of things. But if you're new to my channel, I was diagnosed with autism in October of 2021, and sometimes I talk about it here on my channel. So that's what we do here. Okay. But I feel like this is kind of a common experience that I had, or have always had, that I feel very normal when I'm like by myself, or in my comfort space. I feel very normal, which I am. Okay, autism is normal. But like when I get out into the real world, like around people and, you know, the systems and blah blah, I feel very autistic, like very, very. And I don't think that's uncommon, because like I think the way things are set up, it makes you feel like you're strange or an outsider or, you know, whatever, incompetent. I don't know. But it's not you that's the problem. It's the constructs, you know. So I had another experience like that again, as it's just those things happen in my life, constantly, of course. And it got me thinking, because when stuff like that happens, I tend to think too much and ruminate and have a lot of thoughts. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts, because you're excellent listeners. So one of the realizations I had, because I was in like a social situation, which like is not something I do really ever, and so I was able to sort of observe some things, and my autistic viewers, you know, like when you're in a social setting and all of a sudden you say something and there's like a pause and like everyone just looks at you weird. You know what I'm talking about, right? And you're like, what did I do? You know? So I feel like that happened a few times. And like I said, I don't really socialize a lot, but like, so I sort of was analyzing this afterwards, and I think I'm realizing that when those things happen, it's when I am too like open, honest, blunt about things I'm thinking, and they're like not always socially acceptable things. And I will give you an example, and this is going to sound bad, I don't know, but like to me it didn't seem bad until I said it. And okay, so we were like talking about how, I don't know, I feel like I was asked, or we were talking about age, like getting older, like getting into your 30s, and I was like, you know, I think your 30s are good, and I sort of like jokingly said, although when I did turn 30, I did start thinking about death a lot. And yeah, things got weird, like the weird moment after that, which like I get it, people don't like to talk about death, but like to me that's like an opening to a conversation that's interesting and deep, and like afterwards, like I didn't mean it like bad. I I started thinking about death, and I think it was in a good way. Like, when you realize you're going to die, you live more fully. Like, this is my thought process. But to anyone else, they're like, what the heck is wrong with you? You know? Which, like, I get it. But I feel like in a more neurodivergent space, that may have been a more appropriate comment. Like, could have led to deeper conversations. Whereas in that instance, it was very awkward. And like, that's like one of these things that I'm like, that I like relive in my head. I'm like, why did you say that? Why did you say that? Why? But yeah, so there was, I feel like there was a few instances where I said something inappropriate and people were just like looking at me, and I'm like, this is why I don't speak. So that is one observation that I had, that I feel like, so I haven't really had a lot of social experiences since my autism diagnosis, and so I don't think I've really had a chance to analyze this sort of thing. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tap on something different. So anyways, that is one observation I had. That like my natural thoughts, my like the things that come out naturally are not always appropriate. And that may be one reason I get those the awkward, like, what the heck is wrong with you looks, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. And I knew after I said it, I was like, that was not, you shouldn't have said that. But it just came out and I was like, crap. This is not the correct audience. Yeah. And so like realizing that, I'm like, well, it's no wonder that my coping mechanisms became like hiding my inner thoughts and masking and scripting and just like generally just not speaking or saying what I want to say, because those things I naturally want to contribute to a conversation are not always appropriate in neurotypical conversation, or like the social rules or whatever. And I think I've gotten used to like talking to you guys and people on the internet where I'm just like, I just say what I want to say. That like that moment I realized, oh, okay, I see, I understand now, you know, why I get those looks and stuff. So that was like one realization I've had. The second, let me think. So I was seeing a friend I hadn't seen in a very long time, and we were friends when I was young. So the way she described me, like constantly, to these other people I didn't really know, is that I'm an extremely honest person. And that was like something she kept repeating. I'm really honest. I always tell the truth, and I'm like extremely nice and kind. That was the way she described me. And I just thought that was so interesting because, I mean, yes, I think I am very honest because I'm not naturally good at lying. Like, it's easy, like, I don't see the point of it. And it's, like, lying is harder than just telling the truth. And, like, I don't know, I just prefer, I don't like hiding stuff. I don't think it's, I don't know. I just think we should all be a little more open. So that was funny because I feel like the like extreme honesty is like an autism trait. So, and I also like when I'm in social situations, I like realize I don't catch sarcasm in the moment or like whatever. Like I just it takes me a few seconds, and like I realize it and I'm like, oh crap, they're being sarcastic. And the other thing I realize is I don't like humor that like pokes at other people, which I think is a very common sort of humor for people. Like even if the person is okay with that kind of humor, I don't really like it because I always feel like there's some truth to it. And I don't know. It's just not I just don't like it. I don't like it. Maybe I'm too sensitive, but yeah. And I also realize that I tend to be very like overly encouraging to other people. Maybe because I would have liked that myself. I don't know, I just don't want people to feel bad. You know? I don't know. And then the other thing that I was thinking about, and I've never really thought about this before, even though it's like obvious. I switched triggers. So what I was saying is like anytime I'm in a social situation, like literally anytime, it doesn't matter who it is, what it is, whatever, I get in this very, very unhealthy rumination and like beating myself up for things I say or do or whatever. And this lasts like a few days, maybe to a week. Like it takes me a really long time to recover from social events for this reason, which is why I generally don't go. But I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about my relationship with my fiance, and I'm like, I never ever do that with him. I never question anything I say. I never feel bad about anything I do with him. And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, why is that? And I mean, like, part of it is obviously I've known him an extremely long time, but he's the only person I've ever met that I have been able to just be myself around. Like, genuinely the only person. Because, like, even friendships I had, I do feel like I was still hiding parts of myself. I wasn't 100% me. There was always some hidden component. Like, it wasn't, we didn't get super, super deep, and I was, always masking to some extent. I don't think I really knew, what, that I was doing that. But anyway, he's like the only person that I've ever found who I truly feel safe and comfortable around. And I was thinking about why this is. And like I said, obviously I've known him for a very long time. But he's such a unique person. I don't think I've ever met someone like him. I mean, obviously we're all different. And I'm sure there's like plenty of people like this. I just haven't met them in my real life. But he's just like the type of person who like just takes you as you are and like would never make fun of anyone, wants everyone to feel included and good, and like you tell him something about yourself and he just believes you. You tell him you need something or like something bothers you or whatever, and he just like automatically finds ways to make that thing easier. Like I never like I've never really asked him to accommodate for certain things. He just automatically does them because he knows that like certain things are difficult or whatever, and he just does them naturally. I never asked him to do these things, and I just like, he's just so good and kind and patient. And the other thing is, with him, I never worry about my speech or like my body language or what I'm doing, because with him it's normal. With everything about me is normal with him. and he never points anything out, never makes fun. Like, I often stumble over my speech and, you know, like my speech may not make a lot of sense if I'm like, or it takes me a while to get it out, or like I'll like stumble over words or jumble them together, or like use the wrong word. Like, these are things that I do constantly. And I'm like really bad at telling stories and things because I just can't. I don't know, it doesn't translate well. And like with anyone else, I would be so stressed because people judge you for that stuff. And it isn't quote unquote normal. But with him, it's normal. He doesn't mention it. Like, he doesn't, like, it doesn't, he doesn't look at me weird. He doesn't, you know, like, he, like, if I'm struggling to get words out, he's just, you know, just waits for me to figure it out. And then, you know, we just go on with the conversation, and it's never a big deal. And with anyone else, I would be beating myself up for days if that happened with anyone else. And, you know, maybe I'm not giving other people enough credit, but I don't know. I just feel like it's not okay to do that in most situations. Like, I don't know. We just, it's so not normalized in our culture to like struggle with speech, or just anything that isn't typical, which like I understand to a certain extent when you come across someone who is a little different, who you've never been around this sort of thing. Like, I understand there's sort of a human aspect to like be curious or not understand. I changed triggers. But this is why I very strongly believe we need like disability education. Like, it should be a part of our public school education. We need to like expose young people to other human experiences, other ways of existing, like, so that we don't have this I don't know, like, so we know how to interact with different types of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I understand when, like, humans, when they see something different, there's curiosity, and they don't know how to react and things like that. Like, I get that. So let's teach people how. That's just like one of those societal things that we could work on. Like, let's educate children on how to, or like, let's make them aware of disabled people and different types of disabilities, and, you know, how to just treat them like a human being. You know, that's not really a thing, at least not here in the United States. So I feel like a lot of people maybe don't come in contact with different disabilities, so when they do, they don't know how to react, how to just treat them like a human being. So yeah, it's difficult because I feel like I have to go above and beyond to attempt to hide that stuff, you know, because I don't like when people act weird around me or think less of me or whatever. But like with my fiance, that's not a problem, you know. He's like the person I wish everyone had that same sort of mindset as he does, because the world would be a much kinder, accepting, accommodating place if we all acted like him. Because, like, if he's around someone with a difference, like, he just treats them like a human, you know, like we should. When I am being autistic around him, it feels normal. You know what I'm saying? It feels human. It feels okay. Like, I know he would never make fun of me. I know he would never, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't feel like most people are like that. At least not in my experience. So, like, people have a hard time with differences. So that's, like, another realization I had. And then I was thinking about this, you know, how, like, if more people had his mindset. I'm, like, looking over here at a picture. If people had that sort of mindset, how much better the world would be and how much more accommodating we could be. And, like, the way things work currently, I feel in order to be accommodated for, in order to feel accepted within society, the burden is on the person with the difference. It's like you have to go above and beyond to have your needs met, and it's like a very difficult thing to get accommodations, especially if you have an invisible disability, because people just aren't good at, like, understanding things they can't see. And I wish the world had more of a mindset of, oh, you need this thing? Okay, let's do it. Let's make this available to everyone. Like, I wish the burden wasn't on the disabled person to create and, like, go above and beyond to get what they need to just, like, have their basic human needs met. Because, like, I don't think people worry about this stuff who do okay in the systems, because they're like, well, it's very fair, and I get by, and I don't have a problem with anything, so, you know, why is it a problem? And so they don't think about these things, and so the only way that we get change is if the people who need the change advocate for it, which is not really great, because, like, you know, we already have a lot of stuff to deal with, and I'm pretty exhausted all the time, so it's difficult to be an advocate. But that's kind of how humans work. They don't really care about things that don't affect them. I mean, not all, but, like, that's kind of human nature. But, like, I feel like the world, like, in a perfect world, I think accommodations would just be there, like, for anyone, for everyone, so that they'd be more easily accessible to those who really need them. Does that make sense? Like, they're just built in. They should be built into the system, so we don't have to use our already limited resources to attempt to have our human needs met the same as everyone else's. I wish I could better explain what I'm trying to say, but maybe it's coming across. But I feel like, you know, my ideas of, like, how society should work and function would be probably seen as radical or something. Like, that's too much of a change. Like, we can't do that. And I think it's hysterical that, you know, the criteria for autism is, like, really, you know, you're not good at change and stuff. But, like, so are you guys. Like, yo, not to stereotype, but, like, neurotypical behavior, y'all are very bad at changing things that don't make sense. You're, like, very stuck on these oh, it's always been this way, we can't change it, or oh, this is traditional, or like these are the rules that someone before me built. So, oh my god, there's two baby deer outside. I'm so sorry. What? Hold on, I'm gonna take a video of it. Like, they're literally so cute. Oh my god. Where's the other one? Okay, there's one back there. Oh my god. They're so cute. Sorry guys. I mean, I think that's a pretty good distraction there. They are so friggin' cute. Sorry. I can't, I mean, like, literally my window's open and there's two baby deer outside. How can I not be distracted? Okay. Anyways. What was I talking about? I don't know. Maybe this is a sign. I need to end the video. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna call this video because it was kind of all over the place. But you know, as always, you guys are welcome to leave your thoughts in the comment section. I always love hearing from you guys. The baby deer is still there. Okay, guys. I guess I'm gonna go. I feel like I probably had more to say, but now there's baby deer outside, so. Okay, guys. I love you. I hope you're having a great day, a great night. I think you're doing amazing in this crazy, crazy world. I love you. You're doing amazing. I'm just gonna repeat myself. Okay. I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay.